This episode of Chasing the Dollar is proudly brought to you by Sportingbet. There's no better bet than a Sportingbet.
Hello and welcome to Chasing the Dollar, brought to you by Sportingbet. I'm Ben Way. Benny Damon's having the week off, a couple of weeks off, because he's chasing Daniel Gill around the world as he continues his boxing exploits. But this fella doesn't have a week off. He's a Trojan. He works hard. Adam Pengilly, great to have you in once again, mate, and some cracking racing to look forward to.
Yeah, hello, Ben. Good to have you on the set and bring a bit of professionalism to the studio for once. Yeah, what a cracking night of racing it was at Wentworth Park last Saturday night. Zulu Zeus and Smart Valentino were absolutely fantastic, winning the New South Wales sprint and distance finals. And I reckon if they put in performances like that at the Meadows on Saturday week, I reckon they're a huge chance of winning the national finals too. But first and foremost, we need to try and find a few winners at Wentworth Park on Saturday night.
Absolutely, and we're going to start with the fifth. It's the first leg of the quaddie, as you touched on, over the 520 metres, and you like the three dog here. Yeah,
I do, Ben. I'm going to go with Hero's Return here. He's not the fastest beginner, but quite crucially, there's absolutely no speed drawn either side of him, so he looks like he's going to get a pretty soft run into the first turn. Providing he can get through that first turn with an uncheckered passage, I think he might be far too strong down the back straight and on the home turn. He got the job done in pretty respectable time in similar grade last week, so providing he gets that clean run, I'm happy to make Hero's Return my top pick. We were riding home Cracking Chain last week, but once Flaming Frenzy flew out of the boxes and got to the first turn ahead of him, his work was always going to be cut out for him. I think the draw should probably suit him a little bit better, again drawn out wide on the track with a mad rails runner in Pride of Mykonos drawn directly inside of him. He should get a charm run down the outside, and I'm happy to make Hero's Return and Cracking Chain a good Quinella bet on Saturday night. That'd be my betting strategy in the race. Get the Mod absolutely bungled the start last week. He's a lot better than that, and back down in grade from an ideal draw also has claims, and Pride of Mykonos is honest and will give you a sight for your money early.
All right, and the second leg of the quaddie, it's race 6 on the program, over the 520 as well, and you like Satchmo's Hanky here.
Yeah, I do, Ben. He's resuming off a short freshen up. I thought his last run almost a month ago had some merit to it. I know he weakened out of the race, but he wasn't beaten too far by Corborn Hitman, and the form out of that race seems to be stacking up okay. Crucially, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of speed drawn across the track here. If anything, it's probably going to be a little bit of speed from Corborn Rocker and Good Odds John on his outside. But if he can muscle his way through that first turn and hold that outside pair at bay going into the first turn, I think he's a huge chance of winning this race, and hopefully we can lock in a price as well. I've always had a rap on Goodwin Future, and she's also resuming off a short freshen up, albeit a little bit longer than Satchmo's Hanky. She's well back down in grade on her last start. There's not a lot of speed drawn around her, so she's drawn to get the run of the race into the first turn. There's going to be question marks over her fitness late, but I think she can run some sort of race as well. Corborn Rocker goes in for third. He did literally fall out of the boxes last time at Wentworth Park, but went back to Dapto and was somewhere near his best. He'll be involved in that early speed battle out wide on the track, and it wouldn't surprise me to see him win this race either. And Good Odds John was absolutely fantastic running time off an inside alley last week. This looks a little bit tougher from the other flank, but he's not without a hope either.
All right, which takes us to the third leg of the quaddie, race 7 on the card, and here you like one from the inside box.
Yeah, we do, Ben. We're going to give Boyana one last chance. He's starting to be a little bit costly at his last few starts, but against this common field, I think he's got the draw and the speed early to really run a decent race here. We have seen him fly out of the boxes before only last month and run 29.93. There's not a whole lot of speed drawn in this race either, and if he does step a little bit more consistently this time, I think he should be able to win this race, and there'll be no more excuses for him. My Assumption goes in for second, absolutely jumped out of the ground last week to rattle home for second in free-for-all company. She seems to reserve her better performances against a tougher company. Back down in grade, she must be a huge chance here if she gets that uncheckered run through the first turn, so she goes in for second. Grovebrook Ruler should get a charmed passage into the first turn, being drawn outside a mad relay in our money box. Doesn't win often at Wentworth Park, but should be there and thereabouts, so it goes in for third. And we've just included Spring Caroma is probably the best of the rest on paper, and it pays to forget last week's run, so it's one for your wider multiples.
All right, and the last of the quaddie legs, one here with a fair winning strike rate, if you don't mind. 7 of 13, and you think it's going to be 8 of 14 out of the 2 box.
Yeah, I really do, Ben. Royal Sprite definitely looks like the top pick here. I know you're going to be taking rock bottom odds, and even though he was a little bit disappointing in the state final of the National Sprint Championship last week, I don't expect him to be out of the winner's circle for too long. He'll have to be smart away because Resemblance and Sweet Melon are no slouches early, but with even luck, he should have the class factor on his side and should be able to win this race. So Royal Sprite goes on top. Maybe for some value, throw in Ritzer Joe for second into an Exacta or an Quinella. I think he's the value runner in the race, and you'll do well to forget last week's effort when he had no luck at all and was struggling to reel in the leading pair of Flaming Frenzy and Cracking Chain. If he runs anywhere near the 30-10 best he's produced at Wentworth Park before, he's definite place chance for mine. Resemblance looks beautifully parked down there on the rails and should be in this race for a long way. And I've thrown in Rock Up Richard for fourth. One for your wider multiples, in great form at the moment, but just might lack that early dash to keep pace with some of these. But I'm really keen on Royal Sprite, even though the price will be pretty short.
All right, for those people who want to give one a whack, they want to put their hard-earned on and get a certainty back, the pressure's on. What's your best bet of the program?
They shouldn't be following my tips, Ben, but we don't have to wait long, I don't think. Race 1, number 1, car model. A couple starts back, was beaten less than 2 lengths by Zipping Willow in a heat of the New South Wales Sprint Championship. Looks like a sweet run off the inside, and hopefully she can build us a bank early on Saturday night.
What about those who want to turn not much into a lot?
I'm hoping that Corborn Rocker and Good Odds John will shade Satchmo's Hanky in the market in the 6. So if that's the case, I think he might present a little bit of value with that early speed. He's always going to put himself in the race, so happy to make him the best value bet.
And he went out in the third leg last time. Let's hope not to bust in the quaddie. Get us home.
The quaddie gods haven't been on our side lately, so hopefully we can turn that around this week. Going to go with Hero's Return, Cracking Chain, and Get the Mod in the first. We're going to play half the field in the second leg with Satchmo's Hanky, Goodwin Future, Corborn Rocker, and Good Odds John. In the third leg, we're going to start trimming it up just with Boyana and My Assumption, and we're going to drop anchor in the last and go with Royal Sprite.
Beautiful. Well, best of luck with your investments and best of luck with yours as well. If you're getting on, make sure to follow him. He's a certainty this week. Let's just say he's due. Thanks very much for watching Chasing the Dollar this week. We'll catch you again next week.
This episode of Chasing the Dollar is proudly brought to you by Sportingbet. There's no better bet than a sporting bet.